Kemi Johnson sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the crumpled note in her hand. The words blurred as tears filled her eyes, but she didn't need to read it again. She already knew what it said. She had memorized every line, every excuse, every finality in Michael's goodbye. It hadn't always been this way. 3 years ago, they had been inseparable. Kemi had met Michael at a mutual friend's birthday party. He had walked in late, his shirt slightly wrinkled, and his smile bright enough to light up the dimly lit room. "Is this seat taken?" he had asked, pointing to the chair beside her. "Depends," she replied, raising an eyebrow. "Do you talk too much?" He laughed, a sound that would later become her favorite. "Only when I'm trying to impress someone." From that night, they became a pair. Their love grew in quiet moments, shared meals, lazy weekends, and whispered dreams about the future. Michael made her feel seen, cherished. "You're my world, Kemi," he would often say. And she believed him. They talked about marriage, about the house they'd live in, the kids they'd raise. Kemi would always laugh and say, "One child, Michael. Just one. I can't shout." "Two," he'd counter, grinning. "A boy and a girl." But somewhere along the way, the laughter grew strained, the love stretched thin. Michael's new job took more of his time, and his calls became shorter, his texts less frequent. At first, Kemi told herself it was just stress. She tried to be patient, understanding. But patience became harder when Michael started missing their dates, forgetting promises, and giving excuses that sounded rehearsed. The final blow came on a rainy Friday evening. Kemi had spent the day cooking his favorite meal, hoping to rekindle what they had lost. But when Michael walked through the door, his expression wasn't the warm one she remembered. It was distant, guarded. "Kemi," he began, not meeting her eyes. "Michael, what is it?" she asked, her voice trembling. He sat down, his hands clasped tightly together. "I think we need to talk." Those 5 words shattered her. The conversation that followed was a blur, his explanations about needing space, his apologies that felt hollow, his promises to always care for her. "It's not you, Kemi," he said. "It's me." "It's never you, is it?" she had whispered, tears streaming down her face. And now, weeks later, she sat in her room, surrounded by the remnants of their life together. The framed photo of them at the park, his sweater still draped over her chair, the playlist of their favorite songs she couldn't bring herself to delete. Kemi sighed and wiped her eyes. She reached for her phone, scrolling aimlessly until she stumbled upon a video. It was of Michael, taken during one of their road trips. He was singing off-key, his voice cracking as he tried to hit a high note. She had laughed so hard that day, nearly dropping the phone. The memory brought a smile to her face, bittersweet but comforting. Michael had been her love, her joy, her partner. But now, he was just a memory. Kemi stood up, folding the note and tucking it into a box with the other keepsakes of their time together. It hurt, but she knew she couldn't hold on forever. Love was beautiful, but sometimes it didn't last. And that was okay. As she walked to the kitchen to make herself a cup of tea, she whispered to herself, "Maybe one day, I'll love again." Because even when love becomes a memory, life continues, and with it comes the chance for new beginnings.